Hi, welcome to StepsBallroom Online. This is our Week 5 recap video for Salsa II. If you'd like to be a part of our live stream classes, make sure you email us at dance@stepsballroom.com. You can also find us via our social media links, which are down in the description. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you receive all of our updates in the future. Last week we finished up our Manhattan pattern sequence, and this pattern left us in the unique position to flip over to a handshake position. That's what we're going to pick up today. We're going to move into our first skater's position pattern sequence, going into our sweetheart. But before we get to that, we have our pattern review. Okay, so week 5, we're starting to get the scope of our series for this class. We're going to start, of course, with the same home-based basic pattern that we've had so far, which is our 4 measures of basic to start. The end of that first basic series, we're going to bring the hands into palm-to-palm open position to start ourselves into parallel break for 4 measures, and then from parallel break we move into ronde and swivel for 4 measures. So that sequence is going to stay the same as it's always been. The end of ronde and swivel, we're going to move back into 4 measures of basic before we do anything else. The end of those 4 measures of basic, we're going to start our open break series. Now this week we're going to make a modification to the way that we're approaching the open break series. Because we are padding the end of the open break series with an additional basic, we are going to try and link all 3 open break series together without returning to a basic group in between. So from the end of ronde and swivel, we will do 4 measures of basic, arm comes down, 2 measures of open break and back spot turn, bringing the lady to frame and turning around, 2 measures of basic to pad out that block. Then we will do immediately the arm coming down at the end to do 2 measures of open break and target turn, hitting that target point in the middle and then going around the lady's head to rotate her. At the end of that 2 measures for the target turn, we will pad that block with an additional 2 measures of basic. At the end of that basic, we're going to drop the arm down one more time to push for open break and Manhattan, where we bring the lady around and grab the hand behind the back and then rotate her around in front of us. That will take 2 measures, so we pad the end of that block with 1 more basic for 2 measures to complete the series. At this point, we can loop back to the beginning and repeat the whole thing. All right, we're going to take our whole sequence together. This is going to be the modified sequence with us subtracting the extra blocks of basic out from in between the back spot turn, the target turn, and the Manhattan. Starting ready, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3. 4 to palm. You have parallel break. 2, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3. Hold her in place for ronde and swivel. 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3. 4 now back to basic. 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3. The arm comes down to the hip. Back spot turn. Bring her around. 3, 2, 3. The arm comes down to the hip. Target turn. Bring her around. 3, 2, 3. Arm comes down to the hip. Manhattan here. Spin her around. 3, 2, 3. 4, 2, 3. Taking that again from another angle. Ready? 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3. 3 to palm. 4 to parallel. 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3. Hold her in place. Ronde. 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3. 4 now back to basic. 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3. Arm comes down to the hip. Back spot turn. Bring her around. 3, 2, 3. Arm comes down to the hip. Back spot, target turn. Bring her around. 3, 2, 3. Arm comes down to the hip. Manhattan here. Bring her around. 3, 2, 3. Bring her back to frame. Now basic. 1, 2, 3. And out from there. So at the end of the Manhattan, we end up with that reverse claw grip on our hands. Now up until this point, I've been telling you to just go ahead and slide your fingers back to frame and taking it back to repeating from the basic. We're actually going to utilize this though and turn it into a handshake position. So when we end our Manhattan and you're here, Over the next couple basic steps, we're just going to flip it over to a handshake position. And we're going to lead a handshake open break into our next pattern for Sweetheart. So just like with the Manhattan last week, we want to work on the arm work for this pattern before we work on the footwork for this pattern, which is our Sweetheart. We're going to lead a cross-handed open break from this handshake position. So we're going to push away to create that backwards rock step for rock. Now, on the word step, you're going to bring her forward using your wrist and your fingertips, pulling towards your right hip so that we have her moving forward with her right foot towards our side. So as we take that step up from the rock step, we are applying the forward pressure that she knows she's coming forward on her next step, but she's balanced there at the end of the rock. As she takes that forward step with her right foot, you're going to take your wrist and you're going to do a little J flip, kind of like a fish hook, to flip her around to the other side to face away from you. She will nestle back into the forearm of your right arm here, and you'll have your right hand to her left hand. Now at this point, the lady will bring her other hand up about chest high. Gentlemen, you're just going to collect that with your left hand and hold her here in the skater's position beside you. Now don't worry about the footwork yet. What we're going to do here is we are going to transition her from the right side to the left side and then back and forth a couple of times. So we have her nestled here. You're going to use your right forearm to push her slightly forward and then guide it around in front of you until she finds your left forearm. So you're tossing and catching between both forearms here, using your left forearm to guide her to your right, and then using your right forearm to guide her to your left. What we aren't doing is pushing and pulling with the arms and the elbows, because that would create the arms to stretch as we go through the motion, and then we sort of get this weird sort of chainy feel as you kind of mash your way through the step. So what we want to do is you keep the arms static in front of the lady and guide her around the step on each side. Now you need to be careful that we don't guide her too far forward. If you get to the point where you're having to reach or you're pulling the lady backwards behind her shoulders, that's going to be painful and uncomfortable for both partners. So you want to guide her like a sliding door. She's coming out of the groove and sliding across and then back into the groove on each side. Out of the groove, sliding across, and then back into the groove. Guys, make sure you're keeping your hands in front of her shoulders as she goes through that gesture. You're not pulling her arms back behind where your space is. You need to be reaching forward to keep them in her space. So we guide her out and around to bring her back into the motion. Now, when we get to the footwork portion of this, we'll talk about how many of these we're going to do, but you can just guide her back and forth for as many of these as you'd like to when you're not trying to do it by the book pattern sequence. From there, we'll take it and continue it on with the footwork. Taking that from another angle so we can see both sides of this, again, we push away, we pull towards our hip, then we flip the wrist to put her into our side-by-side position, stepping, rock, step, flip. This gets us into our Sweetheart position. From here, again, don't worry about the feet right now as we're just guiding the arms. You're going to slide her out of the groove, around, back into the groove. Slide her out of the groove, back around, into the groove. We'll do that a couple of times, bringing her from one side to the other until we're ready to get out of the motion. We started with her on our right. We're going to finish with her on our right. So when we're ready to get out of this motion, we're going to let the left hand drift forward as we finish our rock step. So preceding this moment, you're going to step with the left foot, both the man and the lady, rock, step. Then we're going to let the left hand drift forward, and then we're going to take the right arm and push down and into her hip. So you're going to guide the arm down into her body so that we can drive that as a rotating push around her body to turn her out to the next side of the motion. Bringing her back in again. So we take that rock step together, rock, step, drive her out of the motion. And then from here, we'll pick back up into basic footwork and regain frame so that we can repeat from the beginning of our sequence. Now that we've seen the arm work and body position for Sweetheart, we're going to move ourselves into the footwork for the man, starting with the handshake position. For right now, we will have 4 measures of basic between the end of the Manhattan at the beginning of the sweetheart. Eventually, we will pull that out just like we did with the other open break sequences, but from here, we're going to start basic 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. We initiate a cross-handed open break to start our series. So you'll step back for rock, step, pulling the lady towards your hip forward so that you can get her moving to create that flip action we talked in the previous moment. Now with the footwork, we have to switch our feet to get onto the same foot as the lady. So the gentleman actually has a fake in this motion, and a fake in a non-syncopated dance is always going to be a tap step. So as you go backwards for rock, step, and you come out, your motion with the left foot is going to be tap, no weight. The reason the no weight is important is because your very next step is to be rock back again with that same left foot with your partner beside you, stepping, rock, step. So as we get to the end of the basic, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, we have 1, 2, tap, 2, 2, 3, bringing the lady across. Now, because we're bringing the lady across our body, if the gentleman takes a particularly large side step once we've gotten into the motion, there is no chance that the lady can get there. So if you go 2, 2, 3, the lady would have to leap to get across your body to complete that motion. So your side step in this case is going to be as small as possible. We still want to try and have some degree of side step, so I'm going to take a very small side step here and roll the weight over with the knees and the hips, if I can manage it. But if you can't manage the small side step, or you're not feeling like you're taking a small enough step, you can somewhat think together, and that will get you through in a pinch as we bring the lady across the motion. We want to reach our arms forward so the lady's not being pulled backward as we go. So as you bring her around here, this is where we're moving her between as we do these gestures. So we've done 1, 2, tap, rock, step, side, and bring her across. Our right foot will now rock backwards again, rock, step, side, and bring her across. And we repeat that motion multiple times. When you do this on your own, and you're not going by the book, you can do as many or as few of these as you want to. Our series is going to be an 8-measure series total. So we can count ourselves from the beginning, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, all the way through 8, 2, 3 as we're going through the motion. We will get out on the 6, 2, 3, getting us out of the motion, or you can count the number of crosses we make. If you're going to count the number of crosses, we're going to go back and forth 4 times. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, getting out to finish the pattern. So we're here in the handshake position again. You have 1, 2, tap, 2, 2, across, that's 1, 3, 2, across, that's 2, 4, 2, across, that's 3, 5, 2, across, that's the last one. Now here, just like we had to tap to get our way into the pattern, we also have to tap to get our way out of the pattern. So on 6, 2, 3, or after you finish that 4th cross, you're going to go rock, step, tap. And as we do that driving motion to bring the lady out in front of us. From here, we're going to pad 1 basic to finish and recover, stepping 7, 2, 3, 8, 2, 3, which completes our full 8 series for the pattern. So putting the gentleman's footwork all together for that, starting in handshake position, with our basic, we have 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, we start the sweetheart. 1, 2, tap, 2, 2, across, 3, 2, across, 4, 2, across, 5, 2, across, 6, we let her out, basic 2, 3, and recover from there. Now basic 1, 2, 3. Now the ladies part for this pattern, once we get past the rotation in and the rotation out, the footwork on the across motion is exactly the same footwork that the gentleman has. So it's not terribly difficult in terms of the step for the lady. The tricky part is the in and out motion. So we're going to turn it sideways here as we practice this so you can see. We'll take it on this side. So as I'm dancing my basic here in handshake position, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Right here in this moment, you're going to feel him push you away to create open break, rock, step, and at this moment, you're feeling him pull you forward, so we know that our next step is going to be forward with our right foot. But as I start to move the foot forward, you're going to feel him rotate your wrist and then sort of flip it, which is going to cause you to shift 180 degrees as you're making the step. So we're going to start to move the right foot. It starts as a forward step, but it lands as a side step, and then it finishes as a back step. So it's this little swivel pivot at the end of that gesture to put us into this position. Now again, when we get here, we let that left arm drift up to make the connection with our partner. So we do it so now that you can see the crosses, we're here. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4. He pushes away. Rock, step, swivel, rock, step, across. So you don't have a pause or a fake or a tap. You just move straight into the motion, traveling across his body. Now you're going to have an overly large side step as you're crossing in front of him. So as you rock back to him, you'll feel nestled in beside him, rock, step. And then as we take the side step, you almost kind of slide it down the floor, taking an extra large side step to get past him so that we can step backward with our right foot and not collide with him or his other foot as we do the motion. From here, we'll rock back on our right foot, stepping, rock, step, across, rock, step, across, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now again, when we do this without a script, he can do as many of these or as few of these as he wants to. Our sequence, again, is 8 measures total. We can count our way through quick, quick 1, quick, quick 2, all the way through quick, quick 6, which is where the exit will be. Or if you prefer, you can count the number of times you do the crosses. And if that's the case, you cross 1, 2, 3, 4, getting out on the next motion. So putting it together again from that beginning point, we have 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4. He brings me in. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2 across, 3, 2 across, 4, 2 across, 5, 2. Last one. Now on this last one here, you'll take rock, step. He'll let this hand drift forward as he drives you out again with that arm pushing down into your side. This will create a mirror image of the step that we took on the way in. It will start as a forward, it will land as a side, it will resolve as a back, all in one slow count. Then you will fall back into a back rock, picking up basic, basic, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. As we pad out 2 measures of basic on the end of the sequence to bring us to a total of 8. So the whole series for the lady one more time. 5, 6, 7, basic, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4. He brings you in. We have 1, 2, sweetheart, 2, 2 across, 3, 2 across, 4, 2 across, 5, 2 across. Last one, out to the front, basic, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. So now that we've got the footwork for both the man and the lady on this pattern, let's take the whole sequence with our partner. Now again, for right now, at the end of the Manhattan, we are going to do a full 4 measures of basic in between the end of the Manhattan and the beginning of the sweetheart. Eventually, just like with the other open break patterns, the goal is going to be to remove those patterns from that so that we flow directly from the end of the Manhattan right into the sweetheart, but we're not there yet. So starting with the basic, we have 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. Bring her into sweetheart. Open break, flip her in, rock, step across, rock, step across, rock, step across, rock, step across. Now get her out, here, out. Basic, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. From here, we would connect and repeat with our sequence. Taking that from our other angle, we're also going to take it strictly with the numerical measure count as we go through the motion. Ready? 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4 to open break. 1, 2, 3. We're in. 2, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3. 4, 2, 3. 5, 2, 3. Get out. 6, 2, 3. Finish. 7, 2, 3. 8, 2, 3. Connecting back to our basic from there. So that's our sweetheart position for salsa. Keep working on that this week. Next week, we're going to end in the end of sweetheart position and move into our challenge pattern for the next couple of weeks as we build in both cape, and if we get time to it, we'll also try and build in around the world. So keep working. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit all the buttons down below. It helps us out a lot. And then again, if you want to be a part of our live stream classes, make sure you reach out to us via email or social media. Keep practicing this week, and I'll see you for our next lesson.